Hi, everyone. Sharon here from Mac Senior. So, we arrived in Severn, France last night, and this is the alleyway that goes to her. I don't know if you consider it the front door or not, but she lives right in the middle of the old part of Severn. You just walk out her door down to this street, and this is the main street of the old section of Severn. And all of these buildings were built in the 1500s. And we love how the French display their vegetables. They're so pretty. And I can't seem to quit taking shot after shot of all these buildings. They just amaze me. And this was a wonderful little chocolate shop. Of course, you know how much I like to look at stuff like this. And these hands with chocolate on them were funny to me. I think we wound up getting a few pieces to take home. I don't know. And these are little chocolate corns. I thought they were cute. I'm probably spending too much time in the chocolate shop. And yeah, I got my phone out of my pocket real quick because this woman was playing the piano, and just my luck, she quit just as I was starting to record her, but I did get her playing a little bit later. And so this is an old castle, and actually you're going to see another what looks like it doesn't really look like a castle, but it's the summer home of some French royals. And I thought those were interesting looking little plants too. And just a little further down the street, more chocolate. And then that's me videotaping it. There was so much to see. I loved this little village. It's an interesting fish. And I don't know what do poison means, but it looks like that drugstore might poison people. And this is supposedly a very famous old, like hotel, restaurant, that kind of thing. It's been there for 600 years. And I especially liked their little decorations outside. I guess everyone's getting ready for Halloween, but this kind of stuff, my husband says that's gitch, but I like it. And flowers everywhere. I mean, there was flowers hanging from people's windows, flowers hanging from the light lamp posts, and really flowers everywhere. I don't remember what this is. More chocolate in a different place. I probably should stop videotaping all of the chocolate. Okay, this is the French nobilities. I don't know who it was, but that's their summer home, and it was huge, just huge. Beautiful doors. And there goes my husband and Ava. And this is a really, really old church. I think it was built in 14 something. And they don't have services in it anymore because they don't feel like it's safe, because it's so old. But they still let people like us, walk in there and just, I mean, imagine how old these paintings are. I'm surprised that any of it has lasted over the years, but it was still there. I just love being able to touch stone that you know was worked that long ago. I wish I hadn't forgotten my monopod up in Pollock Pines last weekend when I was at that wedding. The video would have been a lot more steady than just me holding it in my shaky hands. One last shot of the center courtyard in this old church. I just loved it. These top things sort of look Russian to me. I don't know. And there's Ava and Ishvan walking ahead of me. See all the flowers, how they have them just everywhere. So sweet. And in this next scene, we're going to see a boat going up the canal in locks. I just thought this was fascinating. So there it is on one side. And then see that boat down there? That boat is waiting to go. And now it's time for it to go. And so it's moving towards the locks. Well, actually, you might even say it's in the locks right now. Or one of them, anyway. What a life to be captain of a boat like this, just sailing along the rivers in France. Now, I tried to shorten it a little bit. He's already there. He's going in, and they'll be closing the locks so that they can, fill it with water and lift that boat up. Yeah, it's almost closed. So here he is on the other side, and they've closed the lock behind him, and they're now starting to fill it up with water. And it's almost full. And now it is full. And he's going to they're going to open up that gate at the other end, and then he's going to go through. Well, isn't this a beautiful boat? In my next life, I want to be a riverboat captain. And now they're opening up that set of gates. And it's fully open, and he's ready to go through. Isn't that cool? I just love stuff like this. And here's another one coming up the canal, and they're going to do it all over again. And this is really interesting to me. This is where the women of the town in the 1500s would come do their wash in this little stream. And I just can't imagine doing laundry like that myself, but I'm glad they had the stream there to do it. And this is just way too many pictures of Severn. As you can tell, I was very taken with this town. I loved it. And these little things that hang, usually they hang over a dining room table. The only time I've ever seen those was in Hungary, but they have them here in France too. And of course, this is another one of those sweet shops. And I thought they had an interesting ceiling in this shop. Beautiful breads, as well as sweet stuff. They had really wonderful bread there too. I have no idea how they made those, but I think they're wonderful to look at. And now we're back home, and I want to show you something. Remember how I told you, this is just some shots of the interior of her house. This is the kitchen, and there's Ava waving at me. But remember how when we were at the Rembrandt house, I showed you the kitchen and the sink? Well, this house has that same kind of sink in the old, what was the old kitchen part of this house. And so I'm going to take you to see it. Okay, there it is. This sink was built in 1500. Isn't that amazing? And it's like cement. I guess they knew how to make cement back then. And this is more shots of the interior. Here's one of the staircases. Very, very steep in that same style. And then that's another one. This is the sort of the middle of the house. And I'm not sure what that is, but it's sort of like a little square courtyard. I'm going to open up the window so I can look out and see. Does it lead to anything? What's down there? Not much. But you can sure see the old, the old bricks and how they put things together. And this is another room. This house has so many rooms you just can't imagine, because I think there's four levels to this house. So she has like lots of sitting rooms and with computers and TVs. There's our Volvo. Not a great parking job, but yeah, that's a better view of the stairs. Okay, so we're on our way to Salzburg. We need to go to the Apple store. And I always want to show you what the town is like and stuff, but man, these people really get into hedges. So a lot of the view is blocked by the hedges. So I'm gonna skip a lot of what I've shot because it's just more of the same. Okay, now we're at a castle that there's really not hardly anything left of it because it's so old. It was built in the 1400s, and it was built on top of a rock, of a bunch of rocks. And it's just really, really old. Here's my husband taking photographs of it. Can you imagine yourself living in this time? And then, yeah, Bori Castle. And in 1644, they redid it because it was only 500 years old then, apparently. I guess the very first part of it was built in 1100 something, but the majority of it, I think, was built in a 200-year span between the 1400s and the 1600s. And of course, they've built a restaurant there. They build restaurants everywhere. They think they can feed people. And this is the countryside around the castle. And my husband was trying to point out that you can see Salzburg from this castle. Not with my eyes, I couldn't see it, but he assured me that it was there. And this is inside the little church. Actually, this church is about the same size as the 800-year-old church that István and I got married in Hungary. So the churches in, outside of the major cities were really small churches. They were ornate and well done, but they were very small. I love taking pictures of people using their iPhones to take pictures. And we spoke to this man. My husband translated for me to Hungarian, and the Hungarian lady translated to French to him. And there's our car with my Max Senior sign on it. And just to finish that up, using 3 different languages, English, Hungarian, and French, we found out that he taught himself how to use that phone because there is no way for people to learn how to use their iOS devices. And aren't these guys great? They're just waiting to thrill someone at dinner. I wondered if they were getting ready to fight, if that's why he was posing sort of like that. And of course, this is the fish part of the market where we were buying our food for tonight. And we had never seen flatfish. Actually, I think it's sole. But I somehow didn't know that they had both of their eyes on one side of their body. But anyway, this guy was very sweet to show us how they do that, how they eat. And that, yeah, they're very strange looking fish. And I didn't know any fish had tongues, but that guy had a tongue. And cheese. We love cheese. I love how they display their fruit. And Starbucks. I love that Starbucks is everywhere. Flowers and fruit. The French really excel at flowers and fruit. Okay, we're back in the car, and now we're on our way to Salzburg and the Apple Store. Because my phone is on local time, but my watch was still on California time, and I didn't know why, and so I wanted their help to pair it correctly. And God, they were so sweet to me at that store. So this is just driving through some of the little villages on the way to Salzburg from Severn. And this is what the houses look like. Now, actually, this could be Hungary. These houses look just like the houses in Hungary. To me, anyway. Well, you'll see, because you're going to see video of Hungary also. And this is a sign just to let us know that in this location, there is an Apple store. We haven't actually got there yet, but we're getting close. This is a big plaza in the middle of Strasbourg, and the Apple store is right on this plaza. It's in this building that you see to the left. And boy, was it crazy busy. And I think that's because the new iPhone 6 came out yesterday. The store in Amsterdam wasn't anywhere near as crowded as this, but I think it's because the iPhone 6S had not come out yet. So that was why this was so busy. Just more little street scenes. Oh, Ishvan took this picture of me outside the Apple store. I always have to have one of those. And it got kind of windy. I love street artists. And of course, every European city has to have a huge cathedral. And boy, this one looked bigger to me than Notre Dame. It probably isn't, but it was huge. We didn't go inside though. I've been in so many. And this is Ishvan being silly with this statue. They probably thought he was nuts. And then this is where we had lunch, sort of a late lunch. And they eat these things called flan. Flan is something different to me, but these are like really super, super, super thin pizzas. And they're really delicious, but it's made with cream on top. I'm not exactly sure how they do that, but that's Ava cutting it up. So one had mushroom, and then one was just regular meat and cheese. More closer views of the big cathedral. And this is me finding out that you can't take a panoramic shot of a busy street scene. Look at that poor guy in blue slightly to the left. He got really minced. And these are old implements for farming. I don't know what this one in the middle is. Of course, that's some sort of a saw, but I like old stuff like that. Here's some more street artists. And this is their metro. It's a very cool looking train. I like this a lot. And it's level. You just step right from the sidewalk right onto it. You don't have to step up or down or anything. Isn't it cool looking? And more of those little tiny stairs that lead down that one's not very clean, but it leads down to the parking garage below. And this is sort of the city central where the trains come in. It's just really one block off of that square where the Apple store is. And I love that in the Apple stores, they all speak English and they're so sweet. They were so busy in that store today, and really, they should have said to me, I'm sorry, but today is not the day we can help you pair your watch. But they didn't say that. They just said, no, 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 no problem. And I was saying, hey, I used to work at the Apple store. I know how busy you guys are, so maybe we shouldn't do this right now. And he said, no, no. It was so sweet. Now, this bridge apparently is famous because Obama met, and I may have this story wrong because I don't do news, but apparently he met in the middle of this bridge with the French and the Germans, and I don't know, they did something. So anyway, that bridge is famous for that. So we're leaving Strasbourg and we're on our way back home, and that's the end of day 5. And thank you once again for being willing to watch these with me. And thank you so much for your sweet messages to me. I love it.